Cinema. Welcome to War with Cinema. I am your host, Greg, your local metalhead, and with me is my co-host,
Par the Collector.
And we're here to talk about movies. Alright, why are we doing this?
Well, we're doing this because me and you only agree on about 2% of all the movies we've ever watched in our lives.
Yeah.
Tired of hearing you talk shit. Like, there's so many people out there that just share that opinion.
That's true. Like we were just talking, we agree on Martin Scorsese and gangster movies, but outside of that, we really don't agree again.
Well, there's a couple comedies we enjoy together too.
That's true.
But like, that is one of the things I really wanted to do this with you, because the fact that you feel so strongly about your case for a movie and I feel so strongly about mine. And it doesn't mean either one of us are right, but like the fact that we have something to debate, like anybody can say, oh, that movie sucks.
Yeah.
But to have an actual reason, and it's like, I could give you A, B, and C for why this movie is terrible.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why I wanted to start this. Like, what is this going to be about? Well, I came up with the idea that each week or episode or whatever, what have you, we're each going to give each other a movie that we have not seen.
Right.
That we think the other person's going to hate, but in the end, we want to broaden each other's horizons.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Like, I'm not going to just go for the throat and give you something that I know you're going to hate. Like, I do want you to like it a little bit, you know?
Well, that's the thing, too. Like, I like artsy, independent, like, all those, et cetera, those kind of movies, right. And I want you to appreciate them.
And that is something that I know about myself. Like, I tell myself all the time I should broaden my thinking a little bit more and think peace movies. There are a couple out there that I've enjoyed, you know, but like I said, I'm looking forward to it because all the titles you've given me so far, I've never heard of them. So
yeah, and that's what I get excited about. I like showing people movies that they've never seen, and they're like, "Holy shit, that was so badass! I've never seen that." Like, because that's how I was. So let me get started on some of these questions. Like, So what originally got you into movies?
Well, as a kid, I've lived in Florida my whole life, so it's very hot outside. And being a fat kid, I didn't really like being outside. So staying indoors and watching TV and watching movies was kind of like easier. And then throughout my life, I actually worked at 3 different movie theaters, just off and on. Like when I was in school, and then I worked for my father's cleaning business. We cleaned a movie theater. So it was crazy. But yeah, ever since then, I just like... For a while, if you wanted to find me, I was probably going to a movie. Yeah. Because, I enjoy it. The whole experience.
Well, for me, when I was a kid, my dad used to go to Blockbuster all the time.
R.I.P.
Yeah, exactly. But apparently he had a falling out with Blockbuster, and he's like, I'm never buying movies here again or whatever. So we used to go to mom and pop shops. Like, that was our thing, was every week my dad would take my brother and I, and he would pick out a movie, I'd pick out a movie, my brother would pick out a movie, and we'd watch them.
All 3 of y'all? Y'all each watch each other's movies? Or
Yeah. Like, my dad would buy, every once in a while, he'd buy a movie. He's like, go to bed, you can't watch this. But for the most part, he bought movies that we could all watch together, and that was kind of like a really special moment of me as a kid.
That's cool.
And then as I got older, as a kid, I watched the movie The Game. And I was like 10 years old.
That's so weird. I was like the same age when I saw that movie.
Really?
My dad, like I said, my dad would take me to see anything. He didn't care. He's like, 8? Yeah, that's old enough to watch Predator. That's fine. Oh, a guy gets his spine ripped out like 10 minutes into the movie. Oh, yeah, he'll be all right. He doesn't need to sleep.
I mean, as long as you got a good grasp on reality,
right.
Those movies are
it wasn't like Predator fucked me up, but there were movies I watched. But that movie right there, being at a young age, that one really twisted my ass up. So I know what you're saying.
But yeah, like The Game, like blew my mind. I was like, I didn't know you could tell a story like this. Like, even as a kid, I was like, this was amazing. Like, I've never seen anything like it before. And then like some years passed. And then in high school, my friends talked to me about this movie, Pi, by Darren Aronofsky. Right. It's like one of his first films. Yeah, they kept talking about it, and I'm like, what is this movie? Let me check it out. And it's another, like, weird, mind-bending, like, indie film. And I was like, man, I love this so much. I love this genre of movies.
You put that on the list, didn't you?
Yeah, we're going to watch it.
All right.
And then when I was in right out of high school, I started dating this chick, and I told her my interests in movies. Like, I like The Game, Pi, da 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 da. She's like, well, I got some movies for you.
Right.
And she got me into really indie films. Like, I let you borrow Pi, or Cube rather.
Mm. Yeah, I watched it.
That's one of my favorite movies of all time. She told me, she's like, you got to watch this movie. And I watched Cube, and that really cemented me in the like indie genre. And I loved it so much. I like wanted to eat up every movie like that. But at the same time, it turned me in kind of like a pretentious little movie asshole.
I mean, it's an opinion.
Yeah, exactly. But I like refuse to go to the movies. Like any Blockbuster movie, I like refuse to go to. I'm like, I'm only watching indie movies because that's where the story's at. That's where the real talent's at. Yeah. But that comes from me being like a metalhead, quote unquote, like going against society type thing.
And that's why we're doing this, because I'm Mr. Blockbuster.
Exactly. Like, you're the one that only goes to Blockbuster movies. You don't really watch too many indie films or anything like that.
Yeah, like I said, if it's somebody I really enjoy and they just happen to do indie movies, like I've watched a lot of Johnny Depp's more artistic movies, I guess, and Kevin Smith. Oh, I love Kevin Smith.
Yeah,
we both enjoy him too.
Yeah, so. Definitely.
But yeah, I'm happy because like that's what's so great about this is the fact that you love movies that I have no clue about. So we're good. Yeah,
and vice versa.
Exactly.
And that's exactly why I wanted to do this, like, because you're going to give me some insight in movies that I would have never thought to watch otherwise, and I'm going to give you some movies that you wouldn't have even heard of. Hopefully you enjoy them, but it's called War with Cinema because I'm purposely picking movies that I think you're going to hate, so we can just argue about them. Because I think that'll be fun, and I think you're going to do the same to me.
Like I said, I would like to find one or two that you're just like, you know what, dude? I know you wanted me to hate it, but it wasn't that bad.
Yeah, exactly.
I would watch it again.
The same here. Like,
But yes, I'm going to tear you apart because the movie I've already watched, like we're not doing that yet, but like the movie I have watched for you, we're going to go at it that day.
And that's where the fun begins.
Exactly.
So, I didn't tell you to do this beforehand because I wanted to do it off the cusp because it feels more intimate and personal. But what are some of your like favorite movies, like of all time?
Oh man, putting me on the spot.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I can go first if you want because I've had time to think about it.
You have? Yeah, go ahead. Give me a couple, man. I'll spit a couple out after you spit a couple.
All right. So some of my like favorite movies of all time. We already talked about Pi.
Right.
And one of the movies I'm going to give you that what's going to be on the next episode is Enemy. Love Enemy.
It's Jake Gyllenhaal, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I like Jake Gyllenhaal, man.
Yeah, he's a great actor. He's like, that movie cemented his my love for him.
Yeah, he's got some hits.
Yeah. I also love Scott Pilgrim versus the World.
I've seen that one.
I think that movie's amazing. Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, I think is an amazing film. Like,
I don't think I've ever seen all of it. I might have seen couple minutes here and there. I love Jim Carrey, but not that kind of Jim Carrey.
Yeah. Most people don't, but there's like the directing in that movie and the art style choices like goes pretty deep, and it's a pretty amazing movie.
It's not that I don't think he can act that way, because I actually liked Number 23. A lot of people shit on that movie, but I like that one.
I still haven't seen that for some well, the reason I haven't seen it is because I've seen Pi, and basically people were saying, like, if you've seen Pi, you've seen 23, so there's no point. Like, 23 is a worse version of Pi, so I didn't bother.
Oh, well, like I said, if you're going just by, like, seeing Jim Carrey do something like that you've never seen him do, that's pretty crazy. But.
Yeah, exactly. And one of my all-time favorite movies, and this isn't going to fall into the genre at all, is Warrior. I mean, there's a big poster right here beside us.
A massive poster, yeah.
I love that movie, but not because of director or anything like that, just because that's one of those movies that hits home for me. Like, I don't know.
That is cool. Yeah. Two brothers, yeah.
Well, that's the thing. Like, I wanted to get into writing books. Like, I was just curious, like, can I write a book or whatever? So I started, and I started writing about these two brothers separated at birth. One goes evil, one goes good. And then they have this huge epic battle at the end and realizing they're brothers, what have you. And then Warrior came out in the middle of me writing this. I'm like, oh, he did it way better than I could ever do. So I kind of just push
Yours
that
is
to the
still a
side.
little different. They knew they were brothers, right? I'm pretty sure they knew they were
They
brothers.
knew they were
They just didn't
brothers?
fuck, they just didn't
Yeah, they
mess
didn't
fuck
like
with
each other
right?
because
that's
of
what I
the
thought.
family, whatever.
Yeah, and their dad was a douche.
Yeah, but that's the thing.
Played greatly by Nick Nolte.
It was amazing. Like his drunk scene.
Yeah,
Fucking, he should have won an award for that.
yeah. I think they just recorded him coming in that day. Like, it's some of his movies
Right?
have been kind of shitty over. Like,
It's like, yeah, just drink these and we'll just say action and you're good.
yeah, for every 48 hours Nick Nolte did, he did like 12 Hulks.
Yeah.
Ang Lee Hulk. Yeah.
But those are some of my favorites. And I mean, obviously, some of my other favorites are favorites of yours too, like Casino.
Oh yeah. I was just about to say
Goodfellas.
Casino and Goodfellas. That right there.
Those are some amazing movies. But I also like more Darren Aronofsky films, like what's the name of it? Requiem for a Dream. Love that movie.
That's a crazy movie, man.
Yeah.
That makes you, that if you watch that young enough, you'll never do a drug in your life.
Oh no, that's what I was gonna say. Like I watched it when I was in high school, I think I was, and I'm like, oh, drugs are really bad. Like they say it in school, but then
Right.
seeing it on screen, like people really get like that.
See, I was the exact opposite. I watched that movie. I was like, fuck, what was the name of that again? I'm like writing them down. I gotta ask my dealer about that shit. That seems amazing. These people are fucking losing their lives over this shit. It must be good, you know?
Yeah,
Like,
right? Exactly.
Nah, kids don't do drugs, but
No,
still.
please don't.
It's
He's joking.
yeah, I am very much, but yeah, that's a crazy movie too. One I love that's kind of like that, but it's an '80s version. I would say is Less Than Zero with Robert Downey Jr.
I don't think I've seen
if
that.
he wasn't on drugs when he did that role, that's what made him do drugs.
Yeah.
Because that man was wilding out in that movie.
Wow.
And it's got the guy from Weekend at Bernie's. Not the dark haired dude, the other one.
I haven't seen that in so long that I don't even know.
Right. Well, like I said, you have to name check me. We need a Jamie, but
Yeah.
we don't.
I know it was, but the way the setup is,
yeah, we're
I
good.
won't be able to check anything, but in the future,
But anyways, yeah, dude. Requiem for a Dream is a good movie.
yeah. And also, like, The Dark Knight, Christopher Nolan. Like,
I love that movie.
such a great movie.
Heath Ledger, R.I.P.
I know, right? Like, my wife made me watch, what's the movie he did in the middle?
Oh, and he died making
Yeah.
The Imaginarium of Dr. Parnassus.
Yeah, exactly.
I've
And
actually watched the whole thing.
I have to. But only thanks to my wife, because she's like, you haven't seen it? And I'm like, no. She's like, you have to watch it. Like, you can't go the rest of your life without seeing this movie.
Honest to God, I completely forgot about it.
Did you?
I was so wrapped up in The Dark Knight. I don't think you quite realize. Like, first of all, I love Batman more than anything. Like, but it was such a good, not just a comic book movie, but just such a good movie in general.
Yeah.
That I watched it every day for like a good 3 months, especially when he died. Like, I was like, I don't care if this role killed him. Like, I'm glad he did it. Like, I'm glad he like made the movie. Not I'm glad he died, but I'm glad he made it.
Yeah, yeah.
But
He was able to show his, like, true talent.
yeah. But then like I said, I watched that movie with me and my wife, and it wasn't the best. Now, if he would have finished it, could have been a whole nother ball game.
Yeah, that's
But
true.
the fact that those guys stepped up and did that out of the love for him, for his daughter, because they took all the money that they were going to get paid, and they gave it to his daughter, which I thought
Oh,
was
wow.
amazing.
I did not know that, actually.
Yeah, that's crazy. Johnny Depp, Colin Farrell, Jude Law, they all came through, filmed it for free.
Wow.
And they said whatever our quote would have been, you give it to the man's family.
That's amazing.
That is.
That makes me like the movie a lot more.
It makes you like know like those are like it's not all about the money for some people.
Yeah, exactly.
Like I get plenty of money. This is something I need to do.
Yeah, that makes me respect people a lot more than people that just want to check. Like,
Exactly,
fuck
because
off.
like I could literally on one hand count how many movies that I can stand Colin Farrell in, let alone like. Yeah.
Yeah,
But to know that he was that good a guy that he did that, that's cool.
yeah, that is
You,
cool.
you got to point back on the good side for me, Colin.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Some other movies that I like that you're not too partial on, like Sucker Punch. I actually watched that the other day. It's such an amazing movie, such an underrated movie. Like, it gets so much hate, but I think it's Zack Snyder's like best work to date.
Really?
Yes, I
Even if you're not into the superhero flicks, which me and you have talked about,
Yeah.
like you could give them or you take them or leave them.
no,
for mo-
I leave them.
Yeah, I get it. But there are a couple exceptions just for like you. But like, I don't know. Like, I just love 300 so much. Like,
300 is amazing.
Even though it's completely false and like so historically inaccurate, it's still great though.
It still makes for a great movie though. Like aesthetically, story wise, like
300 just sounded so much better than like 3,000. You know, and that's what everybody's beef is. There wasn't 300 of them. There was at least a couple thousand. Like, still, dude, they took on an entire army.
Yeah, exactly. Stop taking that away from them.
However many number there was, they were all fucking badass rainbows.
Yeah, they all died in the end anyway.
Exactly.
So
they died fucking heroes.
Yeah, exactly.
They died for freedom and all that good shit.
Yeah.
It's like Braveheart on steroids. That's why I just loved it, because I love that movie too. I love Braveheart, but
yeah,
that's probably one of my favorites. I love 300. Love Braveheart.
Yeah.
They both hold a good place.
right. Some other unknown movies like Happiness, Welcome to the Dollhouse. I actually just watched this one recently, but it like became one of my favorite movies. Is Murder Party. It's called Murder Party. Yeah, this guy goes to this. I don't want to give anything away, but he goes to this party, this Halloween party, and all the people that sent out the invite, their whole intention was whoever showed up, they're gonna kill them.
Together or like
Yeah. They were gonna make like a, hey, wouldn't it be so cool if we killed somebody? And this was gonna be the dude. But it plays out as like a dark comedy, and it's fucking brilliant. I love it so much.
I'm looking forward to that one. That sounds interesting.
Oh yeah?
That's a good synopsis, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. You sold me.
All right.
Like if I would have read that, maybe. But the way you sold it, I'll give it a watch, bro.
Hell yeah.
Put it on there.
It's a great movie. If you haven't seen it, you gotta watch it.
Oh, yeah.
It's a pretty like low budget film, but worth every second. So those are some of my like favorite movies. All right. What do you got?
All right, like I said, Braveheart and 300 are both really good. I like those. But like I said, Gladiator. I love Gladiator. I'm trying to pick something other than old battle movies. Like, I don't know, you just got me on that. I was thinking about that, but I'm a big fan of comedy. Like, I love comedy.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. Like, one I didn't mention, Burn After Reading is one of my favorite comedies of all time.
Yeah, you and those Coens.
Yeah, I love the Coen brothers. I think they're brilliant. I mean, let's not talk about...
if you want to talk about great Coen brothers movies, like Big Lebowski.
Yeah. That's everyone's
that
like go-to, but for some reason, Burn After Reading hit me in the gut a lot more. Like, the subtleties in that movie make me laugh out loud.
Well, there's some good acting in that.
Oh,
because, I mean, that's another thing they don't get a lot of credit for, that they get all these big-name people to do these minute roles, but they still just, you know what I mean? They act the shit out of them.
Exactly.
Brad Pitt is a different kind of funny you've seen him be. I feel like you see him in any other movie.
Speaking of, I told you the other day, and you haven't seen it, was, that... What was that movie? Like... Never mind. It'll come to... Yeah, it's a comedy. I was telling you about it. It's old.
Okay.
Real Genius.
Oh, yeah.
I was telling you about Real Genius. So, what's his name that I said was the main actor?
Oh, dude. There's somebody I know, right?
He's in Heat, but...
Oh, yeah.
He doesn't talk very much. Val Kilmer. Yeah.
He's in it that much. What are you talking about?
He doesn't talk much, okay?
Oh, no, he doesn't talk much. No.
But Val Kilmer plays the same role as kind of like Brad Pitt, except he's a genius, not a dumbass.
Dude, literally, we could have an entire podcast just about the greatness and shittiness of Val Kilmer.
This is very true.
You know?
He burned so bright that he just burnt out.
Hard. But I mean, shout out to 50 Cent for paying his mortgage for a good 5-year span.
Did
just
he really?
doing B movie after B movie after B movie together.
That's a real friend right there.
It is. And who would have thought the most unlikely a pair? 50 Cent, gangster rapper, and Val Kilmer.
Yeah.
Batman.
I would never guess that. I didn't know he
Doc Holliday. Best of buddies.
Oh, speaking of fucking...
Well, you know, like Val Kilmer's like the new Brando.
Yeah.
He's like blew up to like 400 pounds and he's like, I'm still a good actor, put me in movies. And people are like, yeah, we don't want to crane you from scene to scene though, buddy. It shouldn't matter. It shouldn't, but it does.
Yeah.
Like,
poor Val Kilmer.
Yeah.
Hopefully he gets his stuff together and starts becoming a great actor again.
I'm sure he's done something. I haven't paid attention to him lately.
Yeah.
But
I mean, why would you?
Yeah, but he's got some hits.
He does, though.
He really does.
That's a lot of those, like, late 80s, early 90s.
Yeah, like
actors.
You were talking about movies I like. Heat was a good one.
Heat is amazing.
The fact that you have 2 Academy Award winners in the same movie and they're in 2 scenes together. Mm-hmm. But it's still a great movie.
Yeah. The scenes they are together, like...
some of the diner scene?
Best. One of the best scenes ever.
Yeah. That's great dialogue.
It is.
Great dialogue. I was thinking about Val Kilmer. I was thinking about another movie. Kiss Kiss Bang Bang is hilarious.
Yeah, I told you I never saw that.
That's on your list to watch. I gotta get that out of the vault for you.
Oh yeah.
But Tombstone.
Oh, that's what I was gonna say when you said Doc Holliday.
Pulp Fiction. Love Tarantino.
I do love Tarantino. I don't even think about him for some reason.
Yeah, Django. I'm a big fan of Django. That's a great, funny, and just great movie altogether.
Yeah, it is.
Catch Me If You Can is a great movie. As far as comedies go, I used to love John Candy when I was a kid. Mm-hmm. And then when I was from 9 to 13, it was really like Adam Sandler.
Yeah.
I watched every movie he made. And then when I got into my teenage years, Seth Rogen took off. So I was into his comedies for a while. Yeah,
like, it's funny. I like all these artsy, like, indie films. But then I have this soft spot for Seth Rogen for some reason. Like, anything he's in, I want to watch.
You know what I think it is that why people love Seth Rogen so much is he just looks like a guy that you could literally just run into on the street.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Just a dude you can hang out with.
If you were at a damn show and you're seeing just this crazy outlandish band that me and 5 people are the only people into this band. Seth Rogen would be there.
Yeah, pretty much.
Smoking a fat ass cross joint.
Everyone gives him shit, but I don't know. I guess I just relate to him.
Dude's got talent for days.
Well, some people would argue that, but
even if you don't like his acting, which I can get it, you know what I mean? Some people say
he's still funny as fuck, though.
Yeah, you played Seth Rogen in your last 5 movies.
Exactly.
I get what people say, but his writing, and he's a good writer.
Yeah, people love Preacher.
He's wrote a lot of stuff people don't even know. They're like, wow, I love that. And I'm like, yeah, Seth Rogen wrote that. They're like, fuck you.
He is he's talented in other ways than people realize.
Right. Shit. Some people I would argue that, you say Seth Rogen is a terrible actor, but if his writing is that good and he actually could get out of the way of wanting to play himself in all that movies.
I'm sure he could do it.
If he gave the reins over to another actor to take over his spots, you might even enjoy those movies that much more.
Yeah, exactly. I'm sure people said that about Jim Carrey before he started doing serious roles. It's like, oh, Jim Carrey just plays the silly, wonky thing. And then he does some serious movies and it's like, oh, this dude can act.
Oh, for sure.
I'm sure Seth Rogen's the same.
Yeah, I mean, I never saw the Steve Jobs movie with Magneto, but they said he did a really good Steve Wozniak.
Yeah, I believe it. I haven't seen it, but I believe it. But, so I got some other ones. So, what are some things that you want from a movie? Like, when you go into a movie and you're like, I want this, this, and this, what are some things you, really expect to see?
Okay, see, when I sit down in my mind, when I know within the trailer, the first 30 seconds of a trailer, if this is going to be a movie I'm gonna be ready for, or a movie I might watch it if it comes on HBO or something.
I'm the same way.
And then there's that just don't even waste your breath. I won't even watch the opening credits of that shit.
So let's say you saw a trailer for a movie, you God, I gotta see that. What you expect from that movie?
Okay, see. For one, you gotta have that wow factor to me.
Yeah.
The reason, like I said, I'm Blockbuster boy is because I love a big budget. Show me something I've never seen before. Mm-hmm. And that's another thing. A lot of times in movies today, that's just the same idea beat over the head.
It really is. If you go to the movies every week, you'll start to notice the trends in movies, and you'll get burnt out real quick.
Exactly. And at the same time, a superhero movie, I can go to and go in there with that attitude that I'm here to have fun. I'm here to play to the inner kid in me, which if y'all know me, I collect toys and comic books and nostalgic things all the time. Part of the collector on YouTube. Sorry.
But, go ahead.
But, so for me, I just want to have a good time. Yeah. I don't necessarily have to think. There are times where I sit down and I want to think and something, if you watch a trailer for a thriller, and I'm just like, wow, that shit gave me goosebumps.
Yeah.
That looks like it's gonna be creepy. I'll go
True.
see that. Or like you said, a movie where it's like, wow. Like I told you, we talked about it the other day, that trailer about that guy that falls off his bike or whatever, and he's the only person that remembers the Beatles.
Mm-hmm.
And it's got that Indian guy, I don't know him, but like it looks like a good movie. It doesn't look like a really funny movie. It doesn't look like but something about it just drew me in. Like, man, you know what? That's going to be a great story.
Yeah.
Just to see what happens.
True.
So I guess, like I said, it's something that has to appeal to me. It has to make me sit up in my seat like, whoa, what is that now? Like, I ain't seen that before.
Yeah, I'm the same way.
Right.
That kind of did that with me with the most recent I can remember is Annihilation.
Yeah.
When I seen the trailer for Annihilation, I'm like, what the fuck is that? I need to see that.
I love Natalie Portman. She's a national treasure.
she
She
can.
is. I'd leave my wife today for her if she let me.
It's probably something you should say.
Yeah, my wife will never listen to this, so it's
Oh, okay. For me, what do I want from a movie? Like, good acting is like a must.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, in this podcast, I'm going to be giving you some B movies where the acting is absolutely atrocious because I enjoy those movies that are so bad they're funny.
Right.
But normally I want good acting from my movie. Like, when somebody's a bad actor, it takes me out of the movie. Like, I was telling you about that movie Alone in the Dark and what was her name? Big Lebowski. She was the girl that...
Julianne Moore?
No. She wanted her toes to be blown on by...
Oh, Tara Reid.
Yeah, Tara Reid.
Yeah.
She played this, like, smart scientist or whatever, and it just took me out because I can't believe her as that scientist. And she was just such a bad actor that I walked out of the movie theater because I'm just like, I can't do this.
We've talked about that too. I've never walked out of a movie. I've came close a couple times.
Yeah.
Pan's Labyrinth was one of them, but...
So, Pan's Labyrinth is the reason we're doing this podcast. I just want you to know.
And that's great, man. We can go get matching tattoos on it.
It bothers me you don't like it so much.
As much as you love it, that's how much I can't stand it.
It's not that I love it so much. It's that you hate it so much. Like, you can't appreciate it for what it is. But
first of all, if you stay awake through the whole thing, you deserve a medal. They should send you an Oscar for staying awake through that whole
You're missing out on some great movie making.
Don't get me wrong, man. I fuck with Guillermo. I fuck with Guillermo del Toro hard, dude. I'm even willing to go watch that Loch Ness Monster movie he made because of the respect I have for him. Because I love the Hellboys. I really do. And that Troll Hunter show ain't bad. My kids like it. So, like, I like Guillermo.
Maybe we'll talk about it in a future episode. But
also Pacific Rim.
Oh, it's great.
I like Charlie Hunnam.
He gave me exactly what I wanted out of that movie. He's like, oh, you want to see some monsters fight some robots? Here you go. And I was like, yes, that's all I wanted. Thank you. That's what I'm hoping the new Godzilla is going to be. Is just a monster fight.
It looks like they were like took everything that you hated about the first Godzilla and they were like, don't worry guys, we didn't waste a dime.
That's all I want.
Yeah, we're probably definitely gonna have to go see that one.
Oh yeah. But
my son wants to see it too.
Also, like, CGI is a big thing for me. Like, if
you don't like a lot of CGI.
What's that?
You don't like a lot of CGI?
No. It's not. I love 300, and it's mostly all CGI.
Oh, yeah, green screen.
Yeah, but it's the bad CGI. It takes me out of the movie. Like, if a movie has really bad CGI, I'm just like, okay, well, I'm not into your movie anymore. It's like, you could have tightened that up a little bit. Like, one of the funniest things is I watched the Justice League. And what's the robot guy's name? Cyborg. At the beginning of the movie, his costume looks amazing, but as the movie progresses, it gets worse and worse and worse, and by the end of it, he's just a blob.
It's a tough spot for me because I love DC comics and I love DC movies. I was a big fan of the DCEU.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of Zack Snyder, and I think if he would have got the chance to do what he set out to do, I think a lot of people would have a different opinion of Justice League and the whole thing, everything he did with that franchise.
I agree.
But money and studios.
There's too many hands in the pot kind of thing.
Well, I mean, you're taking over something that's been around for so long and it's so important to so many people that it's really shocking to me how Warner Brothers can just say, fuck the fans, we're gonna do this.
Yeah, right.
And, like, you could tell Zack Snyder wasn't a big, like, comic book guy before, but, like, you could tell he cared about it.
Mm-hmm.
You know? I don't know. That's another episode for another day. We could debate that for hours too.
Another one for me that's big is the story.
Right.
Like
good acting and a good story.
Yeah, I hate plot holes. Like
right.
So many movies I watch and they have like all these open ends. I'm like, wait, what about that thing you talked about earlier? You didn't follow up with that. Like, how can you just leave it so open ended like that?
Well, that's my only amendment is that if it's meant to be left like that, because you know there's another one coming. Like. It didn't bother me in like Pirates of the Caribbeans or Harry Potter. I was like, all right, as long as you sew these bitches up at the end of this, like, okay. But if you leave something from 3 movies ago, then I'm like, motherfucker, what would you do? You know?
Yeah.
But yeah, I get what you're saying. Like, yeah, don't leave it to like up to my imagination for everything.
Or a story that just makes sense. Like, I don't know. I don't have a good example, but there's sometimes I'll watch the movie and the story just completely derailed from where it was going. I'm like, wait, what happened?
Oh, yeah. I know what you're talking about. There's plenty of movies. Like Crank 2, that was a big one with that. That one just went off the rails completely.
Yeah.
The new Fantastic Four that Josh Trank did.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, he says it ain't his movie. He walked away, but you filmed a good bit of it, brother. Take some of it. Yeah,
right. So in contrast, like, what are some things I mean, we kind of already talked about it, but whatever. What are some things you, like, hate in movies? Like, things that really bother you when you're watching a movie.
Okay. I'm so tired of pretty faces.
Really?
I am, like, and it sounds like, because I know I'm an ugly guy, so it sounds like I'm hating. And it's not like, that can't be your only skill.
Yeah.
And that's why we always get into it about Channing Tatum. Some people say Channing Tatum is a comedic genius. The way he plays dumb. He's not playing dumb, folks. He is dumb.
I don't know. He tickles.
He can dance, and he's got the bone structure of a Greek god, and he's got like a 12-pack that starts at his neck and ends at his dick. Like, that's why people love him so much.
You just sound like a hater.
I know. Like I sounded, but like, I mean, don't get me wrong. There are like 3 movies I like with Channing Tatum in it.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not completely like against him, but my wife loves him enough for the both of us. So, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure your wife does too.
Oh, yeah, she does most definitely. Anytime he's in, I think wasn't he in Red?
No, he wasn't.
No, not Red. Red Dawn.
No, that was Hemsworth.
Oh, okay.
He's been in some crazy good movies for like 10 seconds.
Yeah.
Like he was in Public Enemies for like 2 minutes before Christian Bale blows his dome off, like in an orange field or a peach field or some shit. I was just like, that's a perfect amount of Channing Tatum.
No.
He's running, he shoots a gun 2 times, and then bam, Christian Bale just takes his sides out.
Well, the Jump Street, I watched that and I was laughing my ass off the whole time.
Yeah, but that's why I said comedic genius. He's just a good-looking guy being stupid. Like, that's not a stretch for me.
I don't know.
But I said, pretty faces, and I say that because, like I said, I don't think his acting is that great. I feel like if he was an ugly dude, he'd be working at McDonald's. That's what I'm saying. So that's a big thing for me. And, like, all those fucking Twilight movies.
Yeah,
like,
definitely.
They're about to ruin Batman. Like, did y'all not learn anything from George Clooney?
Yeah, it's funny. Like, right before you came over, I seen the article where that dude's going to be playing Batman, or he's going to be in Batman. I don't know.
If you weren't a 16-year-old girl when those movies came out, like, you can't go into that and say, like, man, I just really loved that movie. It was so well crafted, so well written, so well acted. Get the fuck out of here. Taylor Lautner should be working at McDonald's if he's not already. Like, literally, like, I'm sure he got a meal every time his shirt came off in one of those fucking things. About to turn into a wolf, y'all. Shirts off.
That or,
But Robert Pattinson, people say he's done other shit that he acts really well in. I've never seen him because I give no fucks, but like...
Well, have you ever seen the YouTube, like, compilation of him hating on Twilight? Like, just talking shit about Twilight.
I mean, that's great, but you still took the fucking money, dog.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
you did
still
6
did
of the bitches. Like, you don't get a fucking cop-out now. Now that they've made $300 billion. Like, you don't get to say, oh, I just couldn't stand it. Yeah. When I bought that Ferrari, I was really torn about it. Like, should I spend this money? Fuck you, bro.
So besides, like, pretty faces, what are some things you, like, fucking hate in a movie?
Lazy writing.
Yes.
Lazy writing, man. Let's save some of this budget, take a big scene out, and just do some dialogue. Now, don't get me wrong, I love dialogue, but I also hate pointless dialogue.
Exactly. Like,
a little Shafta's okay, but you can't have a whole movie of Shafta.
Mm-hmm. I feel like a lot of movies they're like, hey, this is hot right now, so we got to put that in our movie.
Yeah, trending shit.
Yeah, and stupid. That whole movie's just one big trend that's just trying to cash in. Like, that's just so lazy.
Yeah, I piggyback on that real quick, dude. I watched the trailer for the new Rambo today.
Oh, yeah?
The Last Blood. Yeah, they finally did it. They threw last in the title of some aging franchise. And they had Old Town Road chopped up with a Diplo beat through the entire 2 minutes and 30-something seconds this trailer's going. And even if I could have went into it like, not completely tired of Rambo, like, even if I'd just been like, you know what, fuck it, seen the other 6, might as well go watch this one too.
Yeah.
That right there was just like, man, I love Old Town Road for my kids' sake, but now it's just too much.
I kind of wanted to wait to answer these questions when you were done, but I really have to say this because I'm thinking about it. But I hate it when movies just use songs that are hot.
Yes.
Like the number one song at the time, we're going to put that in our movie. I hate it so much.
Yeah, it happens a lot.
Yeah, a lot more than usual. Like back in the day, they would throw a song in, but it would make sense in the movie, the context of the movie. But now they're just throwing any old song. Whatever's hot, they put it in the movie. You
know what the craziest thing about that is? You got to think, they're filming this fucking thing 6 months to a year before that.
Yeah.
So they're already planning what music we're going to love a year ahead of time.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That is fucking nuts.
Yeah, their marketing department is genius, but still, like,
that's going to be the hit. Save that bitch for Transformers.
It makes me not want to see it, but
right,
Yeah,
that is something very hateful.
I love original. I guess I don't know. I just love original soundtracks, like Wonder Woman. Like when I heard that soundtrack,
and Hans Zimmer.
Yeah, Hans Zimmer. Like
that guy's a fucking genius.
Oh man. That was one of the best things he's done recently, like that. Like, oh man,
he gets you want to jump out of your chair. And
exactly.
Grab a fucking sword,
and that's what I want from movies. Like a lot of these superhero movies. Like, I mean, Suicide Squad used a bunch of classic rock tracks, but I felt in the context of the movie, it made it more fun. Like it's supposed to be a silly whatever movie.
You can't say though that trailer with the fucking Queen.
That's what I'm saying.
The cut of that, like, I fucking dusted off that Queen album and listened to it for like a month because of that shit.
That's what I'm saying. Like, they can make those songs work in the right way, but usually it's just shoehorned in there. Like, this is hot, so kids will
definitely
like it.
That whole movie was marketing, bro. The marketing for that movie is better than the actual movie.
But that's one of the movies that everyone hates.
I love it,
but I kind of like
that shit on Blu-ray. Don't fuck around. You know how I am. Like, I love that shit.
But I don't know. I like the take on Joker. Like,
Jared Leto is a great actor, bro.
He's amazing. And people shit on it like, that was such a shitty like
Juggalo Joker. Like, fuck y'all, all right, for one.
But I'm just so sick of seeing the same Joker being played over. Like, you're just rehashing old content. Like, how many times are we going to see Heath Ledger's Joker being played by somebody else? I want something different. I want something new, original. And that's what Jared Leto's Joker was.
And a real comic book fan would enjoy it just for the fact that in the comics, that's my biggest argument. If you hate that different Joker, then you would hate comic books.
Yeah.
And why would you go see that movie anyways? Because in the comic books, the Joker's depiction is however that writer, that colorist.
Yeah.
That's how they perceive him. You know, because I've seen 20 different Jokers in comic books.
Yeah.
Because of the fact that some writer will have something like, they should have done this with him, or I'm going to take him down this road. And Jared Leto tried something different.
Yeah.
And if he'd been given more of a chance, fuck, who knows what he would have done with that.
Yeah, exactly. They cut so much of his Joker out of that movie that it's like, really?
And then they charge you $30 for a fucking Blu-ray that has none of it extra except him beating a dude with a bat or whatever.
That's another thing I hate about movies is the marketing cons you into getting your butt into that movie seat, and it's not, the trailer is not what you're actually seeing. Like, whenever you see that movie, like it looks like Joker's in that movie. Most of it.
That's what I'm saying. The marketing for that movie was amazing. Like, whoever did that should have got an Oscar.
Yeah, definitely, right?
Jesus.
And that's one thing I hate is like the fake advertisement.
Dude, and like I get it to a certain extent. Like Marvel doing that shit with Infinity War, putting the Hulk in that final battle. Oh, spoilers. But, like, fuck that, dude. Infinity War's been out for over a year. If you ain't seen that shit by now, tighten up.
That's true.
Like,
yeah, this is a movie podcast. Like,
exactly. Like, I would hope y'all all know spoilers are inevitable.
Yeah.
Because we're not going to shield your eyes, children. We're going to show you this shit.
Yeah. We're going to expect, like, the movies you're going to listen to that we're talking about, you've already seen.
Or you will go see it because of the argument.
Exactly.
That way you can say, oh, Nick was right. Or Craig was right.
Yeah. Whoever.
Whichever, yeah. Or they're both right. Or they're both fucking stupid. Either way.
Exactly.
That's what this is all about.
Yeah. All right.
We're going to have a good one.
Well, I think that wraps up the introduction about this podcast. On the next episode, we will be talking about the 2015 Vacation that you made
Soft
me
reboot.
watch. Soft reboot.
Still
that
helps
you made me watch.
It was amazing.
I don't know about that.
That's a good laugh. Your side didn't hurt from all the laughing? Because mine did.
We will talk about it on the next episode.
All right.
See you guys then.
Yeah.